It began with a small group of Venezuelans held in the U.S. immigration detention, fearing they'd be identified as members of the Tren de Aragua gang. It then escalated to the deportation of hundreds of migrants after Trump's administration invoked the 18th century Alien Enemies Act, last used during World War II to justify the expulsions. Families have waited in agony for their loved ones who are being held in El Salvador under an agreement with President Nayib Bukele's government. Nearly 200 have returned.
No sé nada de él.
I know nothing about him, and this week I discovered he belongs to the Tren de Aragua. If he does belong to the Tren de Aragua, I'd be living well and I wouldn't be starving. What they're doing to these boys is unfair. They can't blame them just for having tattoos. My son was a tattoo artist and barber. He used to work with me in Bogota.
Venezuela disputes the charge that the migrants are members of the Tren de Aragua gang, a criminal organization with roots in the country that has expanded across Latin America in recent years.
Of those who have entered Venezuela under this modality, not a single one is from Tren de Aragua. Not a single one. Checked and rechecked. If one were to come on the next flights, we would be the first to say that a person who has a record of belonging to a gang has arrived. We have no problem with that.
U.S. crime caution experts say there is no evidence the gang, which White House has declared a terrorist group and alien enemy, has set up a series of cells in the U.S.
This gives the president broad power to remove enemy aliens if there's a war or an invasion. Who gets to decide if there's a war or an invasion? Historically, the answer is the president. The president decides those issues. When Congress declares war, it's fairly obvious. But with an invasion, there's not actually a clear declaration.
Well, this is a time of war because Biden allowed millions of people, many of them criminals.
The move now brings the executive and the judiciary, both co-equal branches of government under the U.S. Constitution, at loggerheads.
In my view, we are already in a constitutional crisis.
While Judge James Boasberg blocked the deportations, Trump's administration defied the orders and insists it acted within the confines of the law.
These were bad people. That was a bad group of, as I say, hombres.
And Trump is not stopping. His administration has now given more than 500,000 migrants from Cuba, Haiti, Nicaragua and Venezuela 1 month to leave the country before their permits are cancelled. Kuria Kanja, TRT World.